Understanding that everyone has their own belief system makes it so easy not to take things personally. All of a sudden, when someone says something to me that hurts me, I can understand. I can choose to be hurt by what they said, by their action. But that pain's not going to sting as deep when I understand that the way someone talks to me and the things that a person says about me is all a reflection of them. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dominique Davis, also known as Brown and Bindi. And here on this channel, we talk about flexibility of the mind, body, and spirit. I'm really excited about today's video as well as next Thursday's video because they are inspired by my yoga teacher training reading. So one of the books that we had to read for yoga teacher training was The Four Agreements. And this is a book that is often recommended to help you start your spiritual journey, to help you kind of look at your perspective and see if there is a gentler way that you can look at things. And this book is a great is a great way to, figure out whether you want to change your perspective, and it gives you really good building blocks for figuring out how to change your perspective. So I want to do a giveaway. I want to send one person this book. Oh my goodness, little AJ is not happy right now. I want to give one person this book. I want to send someone this book. So if you would like to enter this impromptu contest that I am having, all you have to do is comment down below, comment the phrase "I agree," and you will be entered to win a copy of this book. I will just ship it to you via Amazon Prime. Four agreements state that there are four agreements that you can make within your own belief system in order to live a more sustainable, peaceful, loving lifestyle. So the second agreement is do not take anything personally, which I think is a great way to live life. Really quickly, all it really states is that when you don't take something personally, you take your power back. Whatever someone says about you or whatever someone thinks about you is more so a reflection of them that has nothing to do with you. But I do want to talk about this agreement and how using the agreement "do not take anything personally" can really help you find yourself socially. Our realities are unique to us because we all have extremely different life experiences, and our life experiences are what create our belief systems. When we are very young children, we start to put together the behavior of our parents, the behavior of the people who raise us, and we kind of take what they say into account, but we more so observe their actions and how they move throughout the world. So that helps us start to believe that we have to move through the world in a certain way. We learn that when we're really young, and then we get into school and we start to hear about different belief systems, and because of society's, for lack of a better word, mob mentality, even though we know we have our own belief system, because we are so young, we can see that there is a community belief system, if that does make sense. Whether it's culturally from, I'm Black, so Black people, or whether it's society, like as Americans, racially, ethnically, and society wise, we all have belief systems that have taught us different things about how we can individually move through the world. But what's so important to recognize is that we have all gotten different things from these belief systems. And that means that all of our belief systems, though we may have pulled information from the same sources, all of our belief systems are extremely different and unique. So the problem with this is that society encourages us to believe that we all should have the same belief system. Now, even looking at this from a racial perspective, our society kind of implies that Black people, white people, Asian Americans, Hispanic Americans, it implies that we should all have the same belief system. Because if we didn't have a subconscious belief that we should all have the same belief system, we wouldn't always be trying to get everyone else to agree with us, because we would understand that everyone has a very specific belief system that is dependent on their own experience. But we're not taught to think that way. We're taught to push out people who think differently, who think outside the box, who do not fall into a certain idea, whether that is physically or intelligence wise. We are taught that if someone doesn't align with our society's belief system, something's wrong with them. There is an issue. When in reality, it's natural for everyone to believe something different because we've all had different experiences on this planet thus far. Understanding that everyone's belief systems are different is so freeing, and it's so amazing because it literally gives you all of your power back. It's something that I wish I could tell every teenager in high school. You have a different belief system than all of your peers, and all of your peers have a different belief system from one another. We just have a society that encourages us to pretend that we all believe the same thing, but that's not really what's happening. When you get all that power back, you're not beholden to somebody else's belief system. And all of a sudden, you have all this space to ask yourself, well, what do I believe? Who am I? Understanding that everyone has their own belief system makes it so easy not to take things personally. All of a sudden, when someone says something to me that hurts me, I can understand. I can choose to be hurt by what they said, by their action. But that pain's not going to sting as deep when I understand that the way someone talks to me and the things that a person says about me is all a reflection of them. Because that can even go back to worthiness. I know how I'm worth being talked to. I know how I am worth being treated. So even if I make a mistake, I know my worthiness. I know that if I make a mistake, that does not excuse someone else's actions towards me. So I have self-awareness, and I also have self-love. I know that another person's actions are a reflection of themselves and how much self-love they have for themselves. Because I know no one can talk to me any type of way, but I also know that I will not talk to another person any type of way because I want the same respect and I want to give them the same respect. And a person who will talk to me any type of way is probably expecting people to talk to them the same type of way. The act of taking something personally is actually a reflection of how much we love ourselves. I quickly want to differentiate that you can respond to something because you have a short temper, and you can take something personally very deeply. Just because you have a big response to something doesn't mean that you take whatever someone said to you personally. It could just mean that you feel like you could just like drama. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. You can just like drama. A lot of times people start drama, but they don't even really feel that deeply about the situation that's happening. So when I say that a person is taking something personally, I more so mean that when someone does something to them, or when someone says something to them, they take that person's belief system and they agree with it. That's what I mean when I say you're taking something personally. You're taking something that another person said or did to you to heart, which is not what we are supposed to be doing, because that will drain our energy. Because, like we just discussed, anything that another person says or does to us is a reflection of their own stuff. We just happen to be there at the time, you know? So, or we may have triggered them in some way, intentionally or unintentionally. So if someone offends me and I choose to take it personally and I choose to take it to heart, if someone comes up to me and they say, I don't know why you make YouTube videos, nobody watches them, nobody listens to you. If I chose to take that to heart and say, you know what, I'll stop because that person's right, that's me plugging into another person's belief system and my power is gone. But if I say, You know, from their perspective, they've never made a YouTube video in their life. I can't really do anything with that because they literally don't know what they're talking about. You know, I had the experience of setting up a camera and filming and talking to you guys. I have the experience of editing and uploading things to the internet. That person does not. And that's just reality. That's not based off of emotions. That's not based off of anything that's not factual. That's just reality. This is an experience that I had that that person doesn't. So logically, would it make sense for me to emotionally react to somebody's opinion about something that they have no experience in? I have tons of experience in it. But we don't always learn to think about things like this. So we end up plugging into other people's belief systems and getting so lost. And then when we get lost, a lot of times we cannot find our way back to our own belief system. It's like we plug into one person's and then we walk a little further, we plug into another person's and then we walk a little further, and then we plug into another person's. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, who are you? What do you believe? What is your belief system? Because a lot of times that person who could have come up to me and said, hey, I don't know why you're doing this YouTube thing, maybe they had a dream and somebody came up to them and was like, I don't know why you are doing this. And they took that person's belief system, that person's belief that dreams do not come true, that nothing is worth working for. They plugged it into their brain, and then they came over to me and tried to plug it into my brain. Taking things personally is so dangerous because it's one of those things that contributes to the idea that we are all supposed to have the same belief system. So by not taking things personally and sticking to your guns, you are able to remain an individual in a world of sheep. And I hate to put it that way, but the more I study this stuff, the more I see that the majority of people are sleeping. And we're at a time where they're gonna have to wake up. They are going to have to wake up. There is no choice. But they will wake up on their own time, on their own accord, with circumstances that align with their belief system. But if you are not sleeping, if you are not a sheep, your job is to understand that you have a unique belief system, and that is your gift. That is your mind. That is your vision. That is everything that you say and do throughout the day is controlled by what you believe, not another person. And that, my friend, is power. That is free will. That is one of the things that we should have the most gratitude for, because we are not controlled. Nobody is forcing us to be their puppet. And that's amazing. So because no one's forcing us to be their puppet, we should not choose to be anyone's puppet. Understanding your own belief system is the power behind not taking anything personally and being able to navigate yourself to your manifestations without distractions from what other people think about what you are trying to manifest. So yes. I hope you enjoyed this video because I enjoyed making it. If you have any questions, just ask them down below and I'll be happy to answer them. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up so other people on YouTube know that it is valuable and that they should click on it. And last but not least, please make sure that you're subscribed so you can be around for my next video. I appreciate you and I love you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye.